Yo, what's going on? We got top 10 best songs of 2025. Let's go.
Hey there, welcome to Spectrum Pulse, where we talk about music, movies, art, and culture.
I don't have my
Now
Spectrum
we're
Pulse
continuing
shirt.
with the year-end list for
I got
the
my Notre
top
Dame shirt,
10
though.
Best hit songs of 2025. I wish I could be more thrilled with this.
Folded. Okay, Folded is 100% going to be on here. Folded, Somber, and Chaperone.
Brand list.
Boom.
I wanna be. Truthfully,
The Subway.
2025 was a phenomenal year for music as a whole. You'll see a wealth of it in my
And
list
Kendrick,
of my
maybe?
favorite songs
Would Kendrick
and
even count?
albums of this year coming out
Who fucking
soon.
knows?
So much great stuff that deserved to be so much bigger, or at least better represented on the Billboard charts, becoming hits. But that's the thing now, isn't it? I've heard the whole Billboard is irrelevant argument for decades now when it comes to the actual quality of the art that gets out. But as much as critics and diehard fans don't want Billboard
But that's always
to
how
dictate
that's
the
been.
conversation, a
No?
lot of us still get in the trenches when great art gets popular
Like,
and
Billboard doesn't care about quality. Like, bro, Baby Shark was on there. Fucking Steve's Lava Chicken was there for a few weeks. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to lie to you.
by Billboard, or we think it should be way more popular than it is. As much as so many of us claim that
People will never be happy with Billboard, and that's just the thing that you're gonna. Even I'm not happy with Billboard, but that's just the thing, like, that they're gonna have to realize, like, no matter what they do, people are not gonna be happy.
of that conversation, it is still the reason I've got a side channel running Billboard Breakdown into its 12th season, and I see this every year with the Grammys or any other semi-credible award show. Yes, it does pain me to call the Grammys semi-credible, but the industry is real damn good at manufacturing a consent and a public to buy in, especially when it's perceived as artists and the industry seemingly awarding each other as if that gives it more legitimacy. I say all of this because if I was a music industry executive or A&R, I'd look at the chaff that got popular or at least charting in 2025, apparently the extended hangover of 2024 that everyone should have seen coming, and then I would look at the wealth of potential in the indie scene or just outside of the charts, and I would start throwing money around and fast. Buy when the market's low, takes a couple of risks, stop thinking that generative AI is gonna plug that gap. Spoilers, it won't. In any case, what this means for my best hits of 2025, I don't know how many of these would win out in a stronger year. There are years where big hits make my favorite songs list. This year it is way less likely. If I do a best of the 2020s list in 2030, I don't know how many songs here would make it. Similar to 2018
Damn,
and
bro.
2014.
2030, like, are y'all even thinking, like, nah, bro? No one can even think to that, to like where any of us will be then, like.
In the 2010s.
It's crazy,
I'm not
bro.
saying these are bad, although thank God I had extended my list courtesy of Talk of the Charts. See the list down in the description. Without it, the pickings would have been so slim. But once you get out of the top 5, the order of this list can feel really interchangeable. Do not think you know what's coming.
No, I do.
This so many times the past couple of months. And I should also mention, following off my list of the worst hits, I wasn't really a fan of K-pop Demon Hunters, nor the
Yeah, I
songs
said
from
that the other
critically
list.
acclaimed Bad Bunny album that actually got popular, and given how much impact they both had on the charts, it felt like I had even less to pick from this year. One thing you will see though is a lot of R&B, the one genre that at least in the mainstream had a great year.
Folded, but then what? Olivia Dean? Oh yeah, Olivia Dean's probably here. Olivia Dean, Kalani Folded, obviously. Not Chris Brown. No way Chris Brown's on here. I'll be surprised if Chris Brown's on here. R&B. Bro, I don't know.
For example,
Okay, well, I mean, wait! Did he say he didn't like the song in the Billboard Breakdown? I could have sworn he said he didn't like the song in the Billboard Breakdown. Okay. Or maybe it was a different one, but bro, I could have sworn he said he didn't like this song.
I think there's a subsection of SZA's critical defenders that would like her to sound more dignified or respectable than she presents, and that's just never been my favorite.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't
her.
think of SZA.
I like it when she's looser and messier, a little more.
I probably should have.
Closer to Jhené Aiko.
Honestly, I don't really think of this song as like R&B though. There's like hella like this is definitely a pop track.
Luther, also with Kendrick for being borderline easy listening, albeit a really good version of it. I went with the song that even a lot of SZA fans don't seem to like that much. But man, watching SZA sound so
I could have sworn when he first like talked about this song, he didn't like it.
Isn't about to last too long. He's not particularly mature.
I mean, yeah, obviously like feelings could change, but
the money's eventually gonna run out. But also where self-awareness gives way to perhaps genuine feelings, it is really charming with a great bouncy groove that plays really well off the guitars. SZA can do all the
I do like this song though.
And play for high diva presence. Of course she can pull that off, but there's something that feels more homegrown and charming here. More Jill Scott than Erykah Badu. If you know, you know.
I don't. I've seen this song. I haven't listened to the song in full. That sound bad.
Welcome to the most predictable Spectrum Pulse entry on this list. I'm a huge Alan Jackson fan, so naturally a guy doing a very canny imitation of his early work would be enough to win me over in a weak year. Truthfully, Zach Top has both more and less going on for him than that mimicry. I'm not that easy. The neo-traditional polish is impeccable, and I actually really like
Hold on, I'll be back.
matter. Walking a very narrow
Oh,
line
shit.
into an X where you've actually pulled your life together, and it's all just measurably better without her, and I'm not about to lie about that. And there were two factors that solidified why I liked this so much in 2020.
You guys think I was gone, huh?
Being that Morgan Wallen basically tried to rip off this formula with I Got Better, and the pure sour vindictiveness.
No, I Got Better is good. No.
So welcome. The second was, well, my
Look, it's a mini Coke.
Better in 2025. I moved.
If you're still drinking
sleep better. I'm not
regular Coke and not Coke Zero in 2026, I don't know what you're doing.
Corny enough that it's hard to get all that exasperated. I can't lie about that.
So what? I heard you fell in love a couple times. Tell me, was it too young? Tell me, is it a crime?
I think Mariah the Scientist is a very
I forgot that she had a pretty good year. Okay.
And
Honestly, she's pretty like
right vocal production that
easy
just
to ignore.
metallic.
I haven't seen.
Songwriting chops.
It's kind of crazy. I haven't seen anyone talk about. Is it Mariah? Yeah, Mariah. Did I say Maria before? I'm stupid. Mariah the Scientist. I haven't seen anyone talk about her on any social media. Like even the other girl on the song, Kali Uchis. Obviously, like I see a lot of people talking about her. I haven't seen anyone talk about Mariah the Scientist.
And a really nice
Which is kind of crazy because she kind of had a pretty big year, honestly. Like this song, Burning Blue.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
Burning Blue did get held back by the production, at least for me, but this really grew on me. Yeah, I don't love the mix for Kali Uchis. You got Mariah's voice sounding better. Just let the song be so pillowy and soft focus for them both, and drawing the Sade parallel is absolutely biting off more than you can credibly chew, but the chemistry and the harmony
That's what I'm doing right now.
really legit. And I really appreciated this exasperated glare at those who are judgmental about their very public relationships. They're both passionate women where, yeah, it can be a little bit tempestuous or messy, and sometimes you can work it out. Hell, Mariah the Scientist got engaged to Young Thug just a couple of weeks ago after she dumped him and then they reconciled. At the very least, she got better music out of it than he did this year. But yeah, Mariah the Scientist has flown under the radar outside of R&B circles for a little too long now. This should get a lot more attention. But you know, while we're on the topic of mess,
Lolo Young.
I'm too messy, and then I'm too fucking clean. You told me get a job,
This was my mom's top song of the year. She played the fuck out of this song.
then you ask where the hell
And I like this song too, so
and I'm too perfect. So I open my big mouth.
this song, Birds of a Feather, and Not Like Us were my mom's top songs this year.
this this was gonna make the list proper for the longest time. I love that curdled guitar line and that sinuous bass where you even get a little bit of a solo backed by the synths, the note-perfect, unkempt relationship mess on display where it feels like nobody can do anything right and everybody's a bit of a hypocrite. Lola Young's exhausted rasp that can still pull in some genuine soul when she starts belting, where it's not a question of if a breakup is inevitable.
Sorry, this isn't a mukbang. I'm sorry,
Good
guys.
thing, too, the guy in question sounds like a total dick who will never be properly satisfied and yet is so entitled to expect the world from his partner. Yeah, Lola Young is
I think
not
this song is one of the best written songs of like the year. Like, there are better songs that came out this year and also did good this year, but I think this song specifically has a really great has just really great lyrics, and like she expresses what type of relationship she's in like very efficiently, and I really like that about this song.
Perfect by any means. She knows that. She's kind of trying to own it. But this is a song from someone who has hit the very limit of trying to go halfway when the other person just won't budge. It's not healthy. But it did fade a little bit on me. Something about being caught up in the persistent migraine of this bad relationship got a little bit overextended. It didn't quite have the cathartic explosion it really deserved. And after being lukewarm on Lola Young's album this year and watching her seem a little strained to the extreme, I'm really
Yeah, isn't she on like hiatus now?
she needs. Looking forward to maybe hearing more soon. We'll see.
Wait,
So this is the somber song where even a lot of the haters acknowledge that they gotta give this twerp some credit.
Yeah.
Backed by the industry and yet somehow really
I'm not
beats a
here,
better
but
manager as soon as
this is definitely his best song. Like,
possible.
it just
Oh
is.
My God, as a producer and songwriter, he can craft one hell of a scene. Easily his strongest and most developed groove to date was Sean Everett punching up a lot of the smoky atmosphere alongside that minor key swell, the spikes of guitar, and a distorted vocal pickup that feels yanked from 2010's indie rock. I mean, coupled with that falsetto, this sounds like a better Tame Impala song than they got from, well, Tame Impala this year. And it's that sense of atmosphere and grandiosity that basically saves Somber from his own melodramatic whinging. In fact, it's exactly what I want acts who lean into immature melodrama to go and do. Make it smoky and as stylish as possible. Try to own that stage. I've seen a lot of comparisons being made to the 1975, and I really can't agree. The 80s synth pop to the 1975.
I've listened to multiple 1975 songs, and I forget what they sound like 5 minutes after. Like, I don't know why, but their shit is just so forgettable. Like, multiple times. I literally typed into the search bar in 1975, listen to a song, and then just forget like what even that even sounded like.
Should work with Miley Cyrus. They already got the Sean Everett connection. They
Low-key?
seem like they embody that same hyper-stylized universe. Somebody make that happen, especially if the music remains this great.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Fuck being rational, give them what they asked for. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
Oh, I know some people are expecting to see a lot more Kendrick Lamar on my best list, and TV Off is awesome for a lot of very obvious reasons. You all know it from the past year. It's stuffed full of hooks and memorable lines, the beat change is great, the braggadocious attitude is something that Kendrick can do in his sleep. Fuck being rational, give him what they ask for, even as he's exasperated.
Top 3 GNX. Ready? Number 3, Walk Down Murals. Number 2, TV Off. Number 1, Luther.
People are
Sorry.
looking to do more with the
I'm a basic bitch.
It's the essence of killing the party so he can resurrect it and throw everyone else to the wayside.
You guys hear that Kendrick snippet on Twitter?
And of course, the biggest shout out to a producer /
Pretty good.
comment that I've heard in recent memory. And if it didn't become a supercharged meme, something would have been very, very wrong. But at the same time, the songs I love most from GNX, they were never going to be the most popular. Man in the Garden and Reincarnated were not going to be hits.
Yeah.
Nor More's the Pity. And given the album's popular run and a larger hip-hop conversation in 2025, especially in the underground, it weirdly feels very much of its own year to me. There's a greater sense of distance
Yeah.
from GNX
You know what?
than
Yeah.
I expected. In an
Yeah,
absolute
that's true.
banner year for hip-hop, I still love that album, but it feels like the
I
explanation...
think the GNX is contained in. I'm sorry, but with this being put out the same year that the whole beef happened, it really kind of that's really to its own detriment, as it kind of connects it to it, as the beef is really kind of stuck inside that one year, including this. I understand what you're saying.
Sentence that we've already read, where in every subsequent sentence in the paragraph it just got worse.
Which is why people hate on this album a lot more, because they have their emotions to the beef tied to this. Like, obviously, Drake fans are going to hate on this more. But let's say the Drake and Kendrick beef didn't happen, they would not hate on this as much. Well, they'd hate on every fucking Kendrick album. Like, they would fucking hate on T-Pab just because fucking they love Drake and want to suck his cock. You know? So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're going to hate on this shit anyway. It doesn't matter.
Win top prizes at the Grammys in comparison to better hip-hop albums that feel more relevant and dropped in 2025. TV Off is so ridiculously fun. It can transcend a lot, even overexposure, but I find more value where the revolution isn't televised.
Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping on shit since
I forgot I like this song.
Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas.
Oh yeah, I think Big X, he doesn't really work for me, but I like his presence. You know, I like his aura. You know, I think this is needed in the industry.
The biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest.
One of the best surprises about using an extended list of hits
One song I did really like was All the Way. I think All the Way was pretty good.
is that you get surprised what managed to scrape together just enough traction to land inside. The top 50 to 100 has become a little easier to predict with time, but go deeper and it gets wild. And I am legit thrilled that Big X the Plug managed to get a swaggering slice of Texas rap onto the charts, one that's both quotable, catchy, and absolutely hilarious. Part of this is, in essence, solidarity. I was a pretty big man myself. I'm about 6'5", about 250 pounds. I actually lost the
What? Should we get this guy on like a football field or something? Why is this guy sitting here talking to me about music? What is happening?
this year. Thank you all for noticing.
What?
There is a kindred spirit from a fellow large man talking about how he's the biggest dude in his space. And again,
Bro,
I
wait.
don't
Oh shit, bro. Now I'm scared to meet him, bro. Like, what if like I spot like Mark? I'm like, yo, Mark, and then I have to go like this, bro. Oh no, that's not gonna work for me, bro. That's not gonna work for me. I'm not gonna lie.
bragging so much as the expectation that
Sit. Wait, what did he say? 6'5"? What?
There is a kindred spirit from a fellow large man talking about how he's the biggest dude in his space. And again, I don't have a problem with bragging so much as the
No, wait,
expectation
wait.
all for noticing. There is a 6'5", about 250 pounds. I actually lost 30 pounds this year. Thank you all for
Oh,
noticing.
okay, 250. Okay, so it's 220.
There is a
Still,
kindred
bro.
spirit from a
That's
fellow
crazy.
large man talking about how he's the biggest dude in his space. And again, I don't have a problem with bragging so much as the expectation that you brag better. And against the flashy horns and the shambling clatter of the trap percussion, there is a certain stentorian presence to Big X the Plug going into his climb up out of the scene. I like that he's going back to buy shoes for the kids.
Damn, bro,
I like
6'5",
that he
what the
shouts
fuck,
out a lot
man?
of the local
Bro's a whole
Texas
foot taller than
establishments
me.
in Austin.
That's
I like
crazy.
that he paid down all of his back rent early.
Why did
He
God
reached
make me
back
5'5",
frequently with more
man?
eyes on the prize. And
The world
verse
is terrible.
Magnetic as hell. I would have loved a third verse, and I do think Big X the Plug has a bit of a weird year. We'll get into more later, but songs like
What,
this
the country
guarantee
album?
is gonna stick around.
Yeah.
We'll all be better for it.
Somebody said pray for me, 'cause the girls around and I still can't sleep. Somebody send a word upstairs, 'cause the bar shut down and I'm
It's alright. I think maybe I don't like the song as much because this song stayed on like the Hot 100 for like 7,000 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit biased.
supposed to not go heavy store. Smile ain't working anymore. Somebody said pray for me. All I'm asking for is a little mercy. Amen.
So So here's the thing, with the uptick of songs with a Christian themes on the Hot 100, while it's historically not a great sign for the art, if you are gonna do it, Shaboozey and Jelly Roll are the way you double down effectively. If you've heard Shaboozey's albums, you might start coming across like he's got one great trick for his hangdog stomp clap country.
Yeah, I literally said this song, all his songs sound like fucking a bar song.
Gonna show up, but they're both in their natural comfort zone, digging their way out of their demons with no easy exit and trying to be better men, pairing it with much warmer acoustic guitars, the mandolin, banjo, and fiddle, alongside a big choir that really helps them muster some genuine gospel swell and really good chemistry. It's absolutely playing to a formula. A lot of music that is religiously inclined tends to do so, but at least this has some communal soul and doesn't feel as sterile or smug. At least somebody's prayers might have been answered with this, because it's a pretty great song.
What about Mr. Franks?
Alright, now on to the list proper. Again, outside the top 5, I think some of these might well be interchangeable in their order, but here we go. Number 10. So I was talking about this list with my partner, and one observation that came out was a bit of what I really liked and appreciated this year was a certain baseline competency consistently landing. If the Hot 100 isn't going to take that many chances,
Bro, my favorite part of these
I
videos
wanna
is trying to
highlight
listen to the
not
really
fucking up the
low
formula.
volume song.
Is indeed a formula. And let me stress, this guy's teetering on the edge of
Teddy
doing
Swims?
so, but he stuck the landing in the back half of 2024, and this stuck around just long enough.
Slipping into bad dreams, but there's no you and I. No sound when I cry.
Still copy John Mayer, unfortunately. So this is actually technically, when you really think about it, this spot is for John Mayer. Honestly, like, if you say you like the song, you're just saying you like John Mayer, the John Mayer song. So, hey, no, this song's good.
Let's be brutally honest about Teddy Swims. As much as I appreciate him paying his dues around R&B and soul with a really damn good voice, after reviewing his album earlier this year, it's painfully obvious that his career is gonna live or die on great singles. Now, I'm not convinced he's much of an album artist,
Yeah.
so he's just a very strong showman who works with the best material he gets. Might be why he came out saying that he was dabbling with generative AI in order to polish up some songs.
Well, I
And
think
full
with Teddy Swims, I think personally, the audience that he's garnered, I think he's garnered a very loyal audience, because he has like older people that like you could tell. You honestly, let's be honest, like I feel like a lot of the music that Teddy Swims, he makes music for like 40-year-old white moms. Like, let's be honest, like they're tapping their foot like, oh yes, this is very good. Like I feel like Teddy Swims has definitely garnered. When you garner an older audience, they're just gonna be more loyal to you, especially if they are older. They're gonna be more lenient on stuff that you do, which is why something like him using generative AI wasn't as controversial as like some other artists that could have used it or whatever. You know, like fucking if let's say Olivia Dean said, "Oh, I was dabbling in generative AI," then there would be a lot more people mad compared to Teddy Swims saying that, you know, he used it. You guys get what I'm saying?
That knocked this
Like, the type of audience that he's curated is very loyal to him and will keep him pretty successful, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my opinion, though.
Vocally bankrupt in the late 2000s, but Bad Dreams is one of those singles where I just shake my head. Yep, he got another one. I love the supple groove after the gentle rollick and the well-balanced drums. I really love the smoldering spike of guitars in the post-chorus, and Teddy Swims just nails that plaintive angst of trying to get this woman to either come back to him or set him free. He just wants some peace of mind. And this is not the first nor last song on this list about looking for that calm or savoring it in 2025. Feels like that could mean something. I think I understand why this may have worked. Anyway, Teddy Swims' crossover career will last precisely as long as he gets hits. Not sure he's got much in the tank after that last album. We'll have to see. Number 9. I know for a fact there's going to be more than a few songs on this year-end list that might surprise my larger audience. And as someone who knows just how saturated the market is for making year-end lists or the best
Party for you.
given year, especially on this platform, I appreciate curveballs more than ever before. The last thing we all want to be saying is liking the same thing. The less consensus, the better. Even then, I'm a little
Doja Cat?
surprised this
No.
grew on me as much as it did, but while I watched it perpetually underperform, I ended up
No.
liking it even more.
What? No. No, I had to have been like a terrible year for this, to be honest. Really? I'm just gonna have to disagree. I'm sorry. I don't. This song is not good. No.
Okay, there's no way around it. Cardi B's Am I the Problem was a disappointment in 2025.
True.
And I truly don't think it's all her fault. Atlantic mismanaged this rollout so catastrophically.
Yeah.
The fact we got a good
She should have.
album
Her second
at
album
all
should have came out in like 2022 or 2021.
album, it just wasn't what it was hyped up to be.
I don't know
Because
why it came out
privacy
last
is
year. That's
wildly
fucking
overrated
stupid.
in its time. Half because when WAP with Megan Thee Stallion's your lead-off single, you need something of at least comparable when you drop the album 5 years later. But while Outside didn't initially work that much for me, the less trust the label had in the song, the more I came to really appreciate it. It's shockingly well produced and catchy, with a swaggering polish off the creeping keys and the blast of horns. The hook is built for the summer with a tangible edge, and Cardi meets that energy really well. She's traded some of her initial raw firepower for a bit more refinement in her flow and punchlines, but you can still pick up the tangible venom at Offset, where she's single and she's looking to fuck and hard, men or women. I don't know why it gets overlooked that Cardi B is very bisexual.
I never knew that.
Ultimately hitting on both LeBron and his wife alongside Aja Wilson, but really, she's horny enough that she might just fuck the Uber driver. It's being.
I have a question.
confrontation-
So, is there like twerk out? Is there twerk tryouts for these videos? Like, is there like a panel of people, and then like they have like a line of big booty women coming onto the stage and then just twerking? They're like, oh no, there's not enough waves in the booty. Like, we need more waves for this part of the visualizer. You know, you just don't cut it. Yeah, no, like what? Like, how do they? I'm genuinely interested how they get these people. Like,
and flake.
dude, like how, like, oh yeah, see, actually, like, she was in the video because the proportions of her butt were actually very good with the aspect rate. Like, what? Like,
And also
how does that work? I'm very
this year
interested.
could've used a
I'm
lot
very
more
interested.
of. In a time where there's a nascent anti-queer and sex-negative cultural presence, especially down south, Cardi B is a double middle finger in that direction. Maybe that's why this wasn't as big as it should have been, but if you found a way to actually have a hot girl summer in 2025, I think this was on the playlist. You were better for it.
Nah,
Number
that's not trash.
8.
I don't know.
Of course, there's the flip side to being so confrontational. Not good
Booty.
for everyone.
The song is
If
literally
Cardi
booty.
B had gone to this well too many times before, I wouldn't blame you. Sometimes there's the art in just tidying up the fine details, getting something
Oh, it's
little
folded.
more prim and well packaged. Not quite conciliatory, but reading the note and tapping into something more.
You know, it was a good
earned.
fucking twerking anthem, and not fucking Cardi B, the Shake It to the Max. That song's actually way better than that song, so.
And sincere. And really, if you know, this has been such a long time coming.
Can you come pick up your clothes? I had them folded.
This is a good song. I like this song. I'm surprised it's like doing like so well. Like, it's doing way better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like, well, I'm gonna linger in the top 30 for maybe like 10 weeks or something, then fuck off. No, this song is just like chilling in the top 10, which I mean, yo, I'm cool with. I like this song. You know? I'm very surprised how well this song is doing.
I know it's getting cold out, but it's not frozen.
Look, I was there in the mid to late 2010s, I wanted Kalani to have some breakthrough success, but it often felt like their choice of production just held them back from being as sharp as they really could be. Kind of the same problem Mariah the Scientist is going through right now, playing to a more sterile soundscape that doesn't flatter their voice, show the same sort of organic dimensionality that they have. So after a particularly rough couple of years, including where an already forgotten act leveraged their name for clout and clickbait to get
That song
on,
is better than this one, by the way.
when their own music and two projects just couldn't chart. This is Kalani's long-awaited big radio
I would die on that
hit.
hill,
It's unabashedly
unfortunately.
one of their best songs ever. The lush strings and guitars that set up that supple groove, the production that finally gives their voice some room to breathe, and subject matter that actually has some emotional nuance and complexity behind it. On the surface, it's a breakup apology song where they're plainly not over it, even if they were the one who initiated the breakup, so there is a sober yet yearning balance behind the offer to come get your clothes folded at their house. They're willing to try again, not give up everything, but maybe work together, or sadly accept that it wasn't meant to be, try to move on. Kalani has said in interviews that the leaving is the route they normally prefer, but their heart is trying to get them to work through it together, show a little more vulnerability and a grace that they rarely show effectively. Truthfully, it's a lot more mature than Kalani normally writes, and it's a really good look on them. And again, that sort of queer love story that feels a little bit more mundane but no less relevant, it's kind of beautiful. It's important that they get some shine too. Let's see if the momentum follows through. I mean, I think they've certainly earned it.
Maybe.
This song's worth a lot of attention. Number
Possibly.
7. On the flip side, sometimes the R&B doesn't have to be heavy. SZA already proved that on this list. Sometimes you get songs
Olivia
that are
Dean.
lighter and more playful. And this
Yeah.
man, you are welcome. And for an act who is easily one of the biggest mainstream breakthroughs in terms of sheer talent,
Can be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give. I want.
It's cool. It's catchy. Nothing crazy.
Call me wonderful. Whatever the type of talk it is.
They're already spamming this shit on the radio. It's genuinely like crazy, bro. Which I mean, it's not surprising. Like, this is probably the most radio friendly song like ever made, honestly. So, like fucking walking a Target type song.
mark against Olivia Dean is that she's a little too guarded and safe for now. That's a nitpick.
That's
Especially
literally
as
what
the
I just
art of
said.
Loving was so meticulously sharp yet soulful and charming. And again, this was a year where I really appreciated
Just because it's safe doesn't mean it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of I like. To be fair, there are a lot of songs that don't play it safe when I wish they would. You know, maybe because I'm just like a basic bitch or something. But I think simplicity, like Lil Nas X, I think Lil Nas X perfected simplicity with a lot of his music. And that's why, you know, he had the big music videos to kind of contrast the simplicity in his music. The simplicity in his music really elevated the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Ta talked about this before, but like a song like Montero, like 2-minute song, nice, clean, simple. It really contrasts with the video, you know, and that whole spectacle. But at the end of the day, the music is still good, you know, like it doesn't overstep. You get what I'm saying? But also, he's right. Safe can be a possibly negative thing, but I feel like in most cases for me, safe is just fine. There's a difference between safe and boring. If you're boring, then fuck off, you know? But you could be safe. If you're safe and boring, how would you be not safe and boring? I don't know what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, safe is not always bad.
To Amy Winehouse, to Adele, Olivia Dean.
If you're
is
boring,
the
it's bad.
student of the game that
There you
gets
go.
that sterling report card, and we're all better for it. This is her biggest and probably best song to date. The fluttery keys and watery guitar. God, I love that piano flourish on the pre-chorus. The brittle yet precise percussion, an impeccably balanced and produced mix, and Olivia Dean herself putting on a masterclass of tasteful elegance that still actually wants this this guy to follow through and respond, talk to her. It's an increasingly rare
How old is
example
she?
of flirting in mainstream music that doesn't feel forced either way, where the playful exasperation utterly nails the warmth and the genuine interest that she has, where the disavowal slides away just enough to invite that other person in, and the magnetism is really goddamn charming. Given the success of Olivia Dean's other singles and non-singles on the Hot 100 in the last quarter
Yeah,
of
she's
2025,
fucking
I hear a lot of
pulling a
tangible
chaperone in the
star
fucking
presence,
charts
or
right
at the
now.
very
It's
least
crazy.
an industry that thinks that she can be the next big thing. And you know, when the music's this great, we could all use a little bit more. I'll take it. Number 6. So in my honorable mentions, I brought up that I did have a really good 2025 personally. I'm not going to shy away from saying that. I'm not going to
mean, yeah, I did get married.
happiness when that is part of the mechanism that is.
Matt just said he had a bad 2025. Like, what, bro? You, like, had a whole wedding and a fucking honeymoon? This guy, that'd be crazy, you know?
And there was absolutely exhausting and dire moments where it all just felt like way too much, especially if you follow the news.
Oh, good news?
At all. In times like those, well, man, talk about
Okay,
this
it's better than
unique
Amen,
moment.
I guess.
I need some good news. Sitting here sipping on cold truth. Nobody knows what I'm going through. With the devil and walking my shoes.
I already mentioned in discussing Amen that Shabuzi's got a bit of a
The song
formula.
also was,
I
like,
saw
on the
that
chart
song
for,
live
like,
at Osheaga just
7
this
billion
year
years.
when he repeated his greatest hit, a bar song, Tipsy, multiple times. And if you didn't know his catalog, you'd think that he had done it even more given his sound. But Good News proved that not only was he not a one-hit wonder, but he could read the room and understand why so many people were drawn to his unique blend of influences and genres. When I reviewed his 2024 album, I highlighted how ready he sounded for the prime time, and tucking this onto the deluxe re-release was the best possible decision. And I might have been won over the second I heard that pedal steel and fiddle on the first verse, or the punch a harmonica on the bridge with the oh hays. Yeah, I'm not too good for some stomp clap folk, I never have been, but he nails the weary, soulful plea for some sort of respite after drinking a little bit too much, something to buoy up his spirits, no pun intended, between his lonely present and a difficult past. And some might think the big multi-tracked hook is a bit overdone, but I think Shabuzi understood that for this sort of barroom sing-along dropped in mid-November 2024, it would be precisely the note of catharsis, maybe even hope that some people needed. Damn
Yeah.
good for a wallow. I'm just looking forward to the next bit of work. Number 5. So as someone who really likes both hip-hop
Yeah,
and
nah, man,
country
work,
music,
work,
I'm
work,
aware the
work, work.
fusion of the two rarely works as well as it should. Mostly because it
Oh,
tends
all the
to
way.
be that
Don't
easy
let me
start
down
to
easy.
critics
If
who
you
might know more
gonna
of one
leave
genre
me,
than the
gonna
other. No
leave
album
me
that
all
is
the
vitriol
way.
this year for trying to strike that balance, then I hope you're happy by Phoenix the Plug, not helped by some very underthought statements
all
that
the
he
way.
made at his clubsy to me,
I don't
which also
remember.
feels like the most appropriate adjective for that album, trying to strike that country rap fusion. I liked it a lot more at the time. I hear a lot more of its flaws now, but I also think its strongest moments and a lot of Big X the Plug's actual words and subtext did not get the attention they deserved. For example,
Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way. Don't ask for all your things back, cussing out my name, yeah, just to go and take back what you say.
one of the things where Big X the Plug does not get nearly enough credit is his emotive honesty. There's an expectation placed on him to show a lot of stoic machismo, and he tends to be a little bit more open-hearted than that. It follows in the canon of Texas rappers who are more naturally introspective than I think they ever get credit for, like Scarface, where yeah, you can make bangers like The Largest and still have more of a sensitive side, and All the Way
True.
really proved that. Yeah, it's a breakup song with a lot of messy emotions, and I really like that he mentioned trying to hold her hand at one point in the relationship and feeling some nervousness. It's a small detail, but it says a lot. It really humanizes him, but it's also very firm in actually ending things with that partner who wasn't as stable or committed to the relationship, which he seems to have grasped at this time, and he's now got to deal with the painful results. And Bailey Zimmerman is a great fit for that hook. I really liked how the well-positioned multi-tracking to amp up his performance really sold the song, but he's also felt a bit adrift as the Morgan Wallen wannabe, when his own influences feel considerably different, but his best material has always come in these sour yet direct and effective breakup songs, and he nails the hook. Yeah, the transitions aren't perfect, it's not a clean fit, but breakups aren't clean, and I'm more forgiving of the rough edges when the personal detail lands. This might be the biggest hit of both their careers to date, and I do appreciate it indeed goes all the way. Number 4.
It does.
Of course, for every great breakup song, there are those where there's a reconnection for questionable reasons, and I already included Kalani on this list. This
Oh,
is the
Back
one
to
that I
Friends?
like more. It's a newer hit that's flown under the radar, will probably be a little bigger next year, certainly hope it will.
Fuck
And
is
you
this
can tell that
shit?
Someone heard of their
Worst
previous
Way?
duet and all the chemistry
Oh,
they had.
don't mind if I
There's
do.
actually been social media discourse whether or not they are a thing off record, and then they thought, okay, you know what? Let's do round 2 and rip everyone's heart out.
And I don't mind if I do. Drink
Yeah.
up the nerve to show up.
This
at
that
your
shit, bro. This that shit, bro. No cap. It is.
If you wanna know
Yup.
the truth, it's killing me not holding you right now.
This is 2025's Need You Now. If that's not an incentive for everyone
Damn,
who doesn't
it's
know
crazy.
who Riley Green or Ella Langley is to check this out, I don't know what this is.
Nah, this
But
song-
then that feels a bit reductive for this song, mostly because you can tell both of them are trying desperately to keep a veneer that they've got everything together in place after having broken up, down to the gentle acoustic guitar and the shimmering pedal steel, where it's trying to sound a lot more respectable and understated until one or both of them have a few too many whiskeys and they stumble back to each other's house, and neither quite mind it. And I love the oblique harmonies and how Ella Langley's presence begins really understated, and the entire song feels very intimate, and then it has you wondering why it didn't work out in the first place if the chemistry is this good, which has you then reading between the lines, picking up bits of complicated history, probably a lot of good reasons why they aren't together now, and even if they hook up again, it's not gonna add up to more. It's not gonna last. There's a lot of songs about drunken reconnections in country music, but the best are nearly always duets that are played straight with slightly older acts, where history levels out the framing, gives the scene the space to just be achingly sad. Where after the barroom courtship of You Look Like You Love Me, this is the song that comes years later after many truths get spun and hearts get broken. Ella Langley looks like she's gonna have the bigger career. Her ascendancy this year has been really special, and weren't for
Yeah,
the
what?
win
Wait,
was
is
one of the
she's
last cuts for this list.
choosing
Between
Texas
the
is
two
not
of them,
her fucking song?
this is their
She's in the
best.
top 10. Like what? Random as fuck.
Number
Hello?
3. But you don't
Crazy.
always need complexity. And
Is that
finally,
her? I don't know
the
if that's
next
her.
two
I don't know.
songs on this list are both breakup songs in their
Okay.
own way. So let's begin with
I
the
pre- I
artist.
pre-fired
was
too quickly.
lukewarm on that first single, but when I heard this, I was convinced he was for real.
To be friends.
The comparison that struck me when I heard Back to Friends was not just that it reminded me a little of Britpop with the sandy clatter of percussion and those huge piano chords, then intersecting with that steady whining churn of electric guitar alongside that huge overdubbed hook, in that it was a little bit later than that scene, but still distinctly English. Robbie Williams. Now, he always had more style than substance. His crossover career burned out hot and fast, especially stateside, but there was always something so huge about his showmanship, draped in cinematic orchestration with
Monkey
classic
Man?
vocal flexibility, that if you were sucked into that whirling expanse, it felt so magnetic. Maybe it's the relative shallowness of Somber's writing that draws him to that comparison, because he's considerably
You got a long
than
neck,
Robbie
damn.
Williams ever was, but I also get a similar texture to that melodrama when it plays bigger than it kind of should be. Because let's be real, Back to Friends should not be able to carry itself like this. He got way too invested in the hookup, and he's now salty that she just wants to be friends. And to Somber, this betrayal, not really much of a betrayal, she seemed like she was very straightforward about it, it shatters his world. And in that, he utterly nails this melodrama. It doesn't logically make sense, but it doesn't have to. It feels emotionally true. That's what works in art. And that weight does a lot of heavy lifting on Somber's album.
I like the video for
which,
this
the more I
song.
think about it, was way better than it had anyway.
Low-key, like, fits the vibe.
Undressed kind of got cloying very quickly. This feels like the pop music that
I forgot how Undressed went, bro. I feel like everybody, like, we left Undressed in 2025, bro. No cap.
Ways to screw up his career, down to perhaps the most eye-rolling name imaginable. He could well go on a run, and I want to see it happen, especially if we get more like this. Number 2. But on the topic
Number
of
2, watch. I'm gonna get this.
owning the stage, one
Owning the stage? Who owned the stage?
person where it seemed like the weight of the spotlight was too hot and too
Chaperone.
fast.
The subway. Yep, easy. Oh my god.
Just a year late. But as that year wound down, I had the feeling
I'm
that
the goat of
she
this
or
shit, bro.
her management weren't positioning her the best for long-term success, especially as social media was, let's call it, extremely unkind and charitable to her for so many stupid reasons.
True.
The majority would implode utterly if they faced anything close to the same strain or scrutiny. So I'm not surprised that after The Giver didn't quite move the needle the way it probably should have, it appears like she may have taken a step back, maybe slowed the release trajectory a little bit. But we did still get this.
Just another day. It's not alright till it's over. It's never over. It's just another day. It's not
I don't like that part of the video.
till it's over.
It makes me uncomfy.
It's never over.
So for
Imagine
context,
having
I
rats
don't
in your
think
hair,
the
bro.
song is better than the best songs on the Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess.
But yeah,
I'd
no
struggle to
shit.
say that's better than
Oh my god.
Casual or Red
Okay,
Moon
well,
Supernova
I don't know why.
or even
I don't know why I acted like that. This is a good song, but like,
Pony Club.
You
That
know.
song qualified for my year-end list last
Well,
year.
like, I can name
considered it,
3
but I had other
songs
I
that
liked
absolutely
more. If
blow
you're
this song out of the
wondering
water.
why it's not here, that's the reason why. And I also think this does speak to the questionable quality of 2025 as a whole. But man, this is still fucking phenomenal. Where she described it like the cousin to Casual, and I absolutely hear it. The heartfelt frustration and trying to banish a lot of old memories.
That also
when
makes
own
sense, yeah.
senses start betraying you. The
Cousin to
struggle
Casual,
and
yeah, I get that.
anticipation coming off the clatter of the subway sound with a distinctly hazy mid to late 80s texture. Of
Damn, should we get like a barber over here or something? Like cut this hair?
The pile up of
Damn, bro.
unreleased emotions as she's trying to be normal about all of it, but she's still gonna reach a breaking point where she does something
Making all this fuss,
drastic,
like,
reckless.
take some scissors, like, I don't know.
Saskatchewan. You know what's actually in there, right? People who are willingly choosing to live in Saskatchewan. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So,
Who- what is- I don't even know what that is. So, where is that even at?
This song for me is a favorite is. Shit, you already know. It's that extended outro. Half Billy Joel homage to She's Got Away, interwoven into the New York texture of the song. Half a play of
Most
words
normal
like She's
fucking
Got
New
Away
York
and
subway.
She Got Away, where Chapel Roan cannot be the first person to have come up with it. It feels like we've always had it. It's the lighters in the air moment of heartbreak but longing that nails a very specific, very lesbian brand.
So you're trying to get to work and you pull up to the NYC subway, oh, it's over, bro.
And yet rarely
See
ever
that shit
crosses
happening.
over. I tend to adore this style of music, and this belongs in that canon. Even if it takes a while for Chapel Roan to come back with her Kate Bush
Wait.
hard rock-esque abandon and
Girls and-
drive.
wait,
Songs
but-
like this.
Girls kiss boys and
But before we
boys
get to
kiss
that number one,
girls.
This is where I would normally run through the list of songs that charted only in Canada or close to it, so I can quote my adage that the Canadian charts are always better. But man, the past few years have really tested that. Now, to be fair to myself, all the next couple songs were bigger in Canada than they were in the US based off of year-end chart positions, if they made that year-end list at all. But I took some of our exports and I can't say we are sending our finest. That being said, if
Oh,
there's
damn.
a year where I'm going to be all the more adamant about supporting Canadian culture,
Justin Bieber. Wait. How did this not contend for the? Did I hear something? Maybe I was just talking over it. How did this not contend? What? Could have sworn this charted.
This is
Hella.
not Tate McRae's best song, but it understands what Tate McRae does best as an artist. Dance with a lot of energy and nestle herself within better production to let her weak voice be carried by it. It's not a new approach, but from Selena Gomez to Britney Spears, you've heard this before. Tate McRae is just the newest to really work it. Now it feels like it's really trying to tap into the Britney by way of Pussycat Dolls.
Revolving Door clears. I'm sorry. It's just like so. It just clears the song so much.
Of that era.
Holy.
Not completely sure why. Maybe it's how Britney sounded a lot better with Turn of the Millennium Max Martin hooks, or how the Pussycat Dolls had a very dead-eyed approach to their sexuality, whereas Tate McRae sounds a little bit more human for it. But there's a smolder behind the Neptunes rip-off drums that Ryan Tedder is using here that is actually somewhat credible. Also, by some coincidence, we both have hazel eyes. Not claiming solidarity on that when the song was about fucking in a shockingly uncomfortable space, but when it comes to this type of archetype...
Well, yeah, sports car win, bro.
All I'm saying.
Isn't that shit like a 2-seater or something? Okay. Yeah, this does. Oh wait, what are we doing? I just must have misheard or something. I don't know. There's probably gonna be people like in the comments like, oh yeah, cause you were fucking talking over it.
And speaking of pop and R&B that relies a lot more on its production to carry it more than its frontman, Dijon and Mick G basically hijacked this song from Justin Bieber and turned it into a really good wistful slow burn with some ragged energy in a lot of the guitars and drums. And it winds up the best of that album and probably Justin Bieber's best in years. If you've heard Dijon's album this
honestly,
year,
yeah.
this is no Yamaha, but it did remind me a little of how Justin Bieber built his initial YouTube fandom off of a bunch of choppy, quasi-amateurish acoustic songs. And there is something homegrown about that kind of strikes that nerve, especially as his voice has credibly improved since then. Wouldn't say no to more of this. We'll see.
Girl, I can't decide if I should stay and say I tried, or I should leave and say goodbye.
Bass as fuck.
It's killing me inside. If I could just get next
W
to
song.
you, I'd probably be all
Clears
right.
Nokia.
We're so busy in this life. We always say some other time.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'd like to hear more of this too. Yeah, it's Drake hijacking a beat from SZA with the pervasive acoustic guitars and the gentle groove, and I don't really think Party Next Door adds that much to this at all, even with that post-chorus. And Yebba basically tacks on an outro, but this was really the only point this year where Drake tried to look in the mirror and face some serious self-reflection, and it leads to an extremely rare moment of bleary, half-sung maturity. There's honestly something a little bit startling about the image of him drinking with his older dad, who is spouting off about the hoes that just don't love you, and Drake has that moment of, oh shit, this is what my life is ultimately going to become if I don't do anything else. And I also like the second verse where he acknowledges that he lost track of his faith and he doesn't have people in his life to talk to that he can really trust, as a bunch of them wound up dead. Both Kendrick and Drake have referenced deaths that have occurred alongside the beef, probably a lot more than we might know. That says a lot. And I also appreciate that Drake does not ask for our sympathy. He knows he's not gonna get it. He's gotta do the hard work of repair, which he promptly spent the rest of 2025 not doing because being toxic and lazy is way easier. Even if it costs you your soul. All I'm saying.
I don't know what it is. There's like if Bailey Zimmerman made a Miles
I get the
Smith
impression
song.
Canada will always be a little bit more gracious to a certain brand of folk music that's on the cusp of being called indie, but really isn't. So here's Cameron Whitcomb. He's from Alberta. He was on American Idol. His nasal rasp is absolutely an acquired taste, especially when they multi-track it on this song. Sounds like if Kid Laroi actually had talent. This was his biggest hit up here.
Or that
and
too.
I happen to think it's really
Wait.
damn good. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
acoustics are
No,
easy
actually,
stuff
I don't.
for
I
people
disagree with
outside
that.
of
No.
big stomp clap
Kid
and
Laroi
big
does have
sing-along
talent.
barf
What?
familiar, but the central sentiment of actually trying to get clean and trying to reconcile with people you hurt while under the influence, that's actually a really good point, especially when you'd rather throw your hands up than rebuild relationships and just get drunk or high again. The sarcasm and frustration really make this song work, especially when he's looking at everybody who's got some sort of philosophy on how to get clean, and it's rarely ever that simple. Not sure if I really get behind anything else this guy has done, but at least this is pretty good. I'll stick up for it. If you haven't heard it, give it a shot. And that's all the Canadian songs. I know, short list. 2025 was a rough year. But now back to things proper. Number one.
Number 1. I'm trying to guess, bro. I don't know. Fuck.
So here's a fun fact. If I was going by my old rules and just using the year-end Hot 100,
this wouldn't have made it
into the category of the Canadian charts are always better. It made our year-end list when it fell just below that mark stateside. Hell, if I was using my old rules, I would think I would have had to go to Somber for my number 1 hit of the year, not this, which I feel is very reflective of this year. This song, an American song from American artists, is my favorite hit of 2025. It can't even get as popular in their own country, even if they would probably be better for it. But if I were to highlight something about even my favorite hit songs of 2025, it's that lingering feeling of stasis, wallow, going backwards, where it's rare to see someone change and go forth, try to do better. I did not expect that song would come from these two acts, but I remember when Dial Drunk by Noah Kahan and Post Malone was my favorite hit song of 2023. There is a precedent, but it's
no, don't do it.
Defend this.
No.
You don't have to follow in your bloodline. Oh, we got each other. And if you got tomorrow, then you still got time to break the chain that left you scarred.
Nah. Gonna have to disagree on this one. Okay, it's not a bad song.
Take to end this list. Neither Alex Warren nor Jelly Roll are as bad as a lot of folks want to make them out to be, even if the artists
That's true for Alex Warren. Jelly Roll, stop. No, Jelly Roll is not good.
themselves can be their own worst enemy. For Jelly Roll, in terms of overexposure and some of his own idiotic missteps. For Alex Warren, the melodramatic impulse to not focus his creative direction in favor of a lot of overwrought adult contemporary, which will probably make him more money in the end. And yet, I would still argue that Bloodline is their best song in years. Playing to that same stomp clap millennial folk that gets so maligned by a lot of critics, but kept up tempo with real vocal chemistry. In both text and metatext in this song, they need each other. The fast pick guitars that build some galloping presence as they stack the main vocal line. This is a song about confronting family legacy of vice and pain that you do not want, where you're terrified you're gonna fall into the same cycle, but then you get
Honestly, I can't complain because when I make my worst list, bro, or fucking best lists, yeah, bro.
Push you forth on a good way. And I'll be honest, I was so ready to condemn this song before hearing it off the title. Does anyone want to hear a song from two doughy white dudes about one's bloodline? Until you get that this is a strident rejection of historical continuity. You don't have to stew in resentment or malaise. There can be a way out. From where you came isn't who you are. I don't know anything about that's that good about either man's politics. What I do know, I really don't kind of like. And I don't think they were trying to write something that would make your average America First groiper shit himself. But the rejection of embrace tradition, when they acknowledge these traditions only bring you misery and ruin. It's a through line that's got some striving spirit to go forward, even if that's an interpretation that found them accidentally. Yes, this is not a pick that any other critic's gonna respect, especially if the easiest comparison might be Hey Brother by the late Avicii. But the production and hook have been better here, and when it helps the spirit sing along with righteous fervor, that's gonna win me over, even if neither act is gonna probably be this good again. It's my favorite hit song of 2025 because even if you think
I respect
it's hokey or corny or deeply embarrassing, it's trying for more positive momentum and community, and it's got no right to kick as much ass as it does. We absolutely can't expect better, but at least here, we might not walk alone. I'll take that. So
I'll take that too,
thanks a lot
Mark.
for watching. If you want to
Yeah.
see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, subscribe. I'll admit again, there's enough curveballs on this list. I'm curious what all of yours are down in the description below. And hey, I really appreciate y'all sticking around, especially.
Fuck, I
again,
gotta
these
make
are
my
a little
best
bit of
list, bro.
curveballs that show up
Shit,
on
this made me want to make my
Again,
best
if
list.
it was all continuity, if it was all consensus.
Is it crazy I haven't started on either list?
But hey,
It's
again,
over, bro. I'm
leave
not
your
gonna
comments
lie.
down there below. Anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. If you want to help support the channel,
Nah,
get
bro,
items
Mark.
on the schedule in the new year,
You're
see
goated,
some
bro.
year-end list early, or
You're my
you know,
role
just
model.
help me
All right,
on
I'm
Discord,
complicated
Twitter,
with this.
Patreon, and
I'm
YouTube
doing too much.
members right there. Don't feel obligated. Tough times out there. I understand. Recession's coming. But hey, the option's available. Till then, I'm Mark.
I won't do your Patreon, but if you put out Billboard Breakdown merch, you know,
And
maybe,
I'll see you next time.
maybe. All right, man. I guess that's it, guys. What you guys think of the list? What I thought of the list? Number one, no. Sorry, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's not my cup of tea. But hey, you know, at least he's honest. You know, I respect best lists that go outside of the box and give me a song that I would never expect, even if I may not like it. You know, at least, you know, Mark is able to express his thoughts on why he put that as his number one. And, you know, I can respect that, you know? I mean, I kind of predicted, like, most of the stuff on this list. Why is this on the list? Genuinely. Like, what did he even say? What, it's like a summer banger? Maybe I wasn't listening enough, but, like, this song is just not good. Like, I'm sorry. No. Olivia Dean, I predicted that. All the Way predicted that. Kendrick Lamar predicted that. Like, I literally predicted all of this, bro. Somber predicted that. Chappell Roan predicted that. Folded predicted that. Did not predict this song being here. I could have sworn he didn't. He said he didn't like this song, but I guess.
A weak year.
Lily Young should have predicted that. Honestly, I remember him liking that a lot. Mariah the Scientist, yeah, you should have. I should have predicted that. All right, guys. Well, what do you think? Go subscribe to Spectrum World and then